My beloved child. There is a reason you felt drawn to this moment, and there is a reason these words reached you exactly now. Do not move away too quickly, because something important is hidden inside what you are about to hear. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and every line from here carries a meaning that may connect with what you have quietly been sensing for days. Some people notice changes before they understand them. A door opens without warning. A call arrives at an unusual hour. A message appears with no explanation. And sometimes, before clarity comes, there is a deep feeling inside that says something significant is already moving in the background. That feeling is not always random. Sometimes it is your spirit recognizing movement before your eyes can see it. A lawyer may be trying to reach you about something important, but listen carefully. This is not about fear, and this is not about rushing into worry. This is about attention. This is about noticing that something connected to your name, your future, or your path may soon ask for your presence. Not because everything is uncertain, but because a chapter that stayed silent for too long may finally begin to speak. Do not skip, because many people leave too early and miss the one sentence that was meant for them. There are moments when information arrives quietly, almost hidden, and only those who remain patient understand why the timing mattered so much. You may have recently felt that certain things around you were shifting without explanation. A conversation that felt incomplete. A person who suddenly remembered your name. A delayed answer that still has not reached you. Even a strange feeling that something unfinished is circling back. These moments often appear ordinary, but they can carry the beginning of something larger than expected. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the strange part is this. What seems delayed is not always lost. Sometimes it is being arranged with unusual precision behind the scenes, where you cannot yet see it. There are times when life becomes silent just before important information appears. You look around and nothing seems obvious, yet inside there is pressure, curiosity, and a quiet expectation that refuses to disappear. That inner signal often arrives before visible confirmation. Someone connected to an official process, a document, or a long-standing matter may be closer to reaching you than you think. The message may not come loudly. It may arrive through an ordinary path, a simple notification, a familiar number, or a name you almost ignore. And that is why you must remain aware. Do not skip. What appears small can carry a very large meaning. Sometimes people expect important events to arrive dramatically, but many life-changing moments first appear in ordinary form. A single line. A short request. A reminder. A name mentioned once. Yet behind that simple contact, something much bigger can exist. And there is another reason this moment matters. You may already have sensed that something unfinished around you is preparing to return. Not to confuse you, but to complete itself. A situation that seemed forgotten may not be forgotten at all. A delayed answer may be moving again. A matter that looked silent may already be active in places you cannot see yet. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. If recently you felt unusually alert for no reason, if your mind returned again and again to one unfinished thought, if you kept wondering why a certain name, memory, or document came back into your attention, do not dismiss it too quickly. Sometimes your awareness notices movement before confirmation arrives. And what makes this even more powerful is that not everyone around you understands what is approaching for you. Some people still think your season looks ordinary. They do not see what may already be preparing itself quietly in your direction. This is why you must remain calm, focused, and observant. A sudden contact can change how you look at the past few months. A simple conversation can explain delays that never made sense before. A missing piece can arrive unexpectedly and connect everything. Do not skip, because the next part of this message becomes even deeper. There are moments when what seems formal carries personal meaning. A voice reaching out may not only be about paperwork, process, or explanation, it may also represent closure, confirmation, or the opening of a path that has waited longer than expected. And when that moment comes, the first reaction is often surprise, because what you thought had become silent may suddenly become active again. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and this is only the beginning of what is being revealed. Some people are contacted because something must be corrected. Some because something must be confirmed. Some because something valuable must finally reach the right place. But in every case, timing matters. That is why today you are being reminded not to ignore what seems ordinary. Because sometimes one ordinary moment carries extraordinary meaning. And what is approaching may explain why certain doors did not open earlier, because the right moment had not yet arrived. Now remain here, because what comes next becomes even more surprising. But listen closely, because the next part is where everything begins to feel even more unusual. There are moments when a person receives signs before receiving answers. A thought returns again and again. A feeling becomes impossible to ignore. A simple day suddenly carries unusual weight, as if something invisible is waiting just beyond the next hour. If you have felt that recently, do not dismiss it. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and what you sense may be connected to something already moving toward you. A lawyer may be trying to reach you about something important, and what matters now is not panic, but attention. Sometimes important contact does not arrive with noise. It comes quietly, almost hidden, as if testing whether you are ready to notice it. A missed call. A message left unread. A name that appears unexpectedly. A formal tone that immediately makes you pause. These are small moments, but they can carry surprising meaning. Do not skip, because many people lose important opportunities simply because they assume ordinary things have no deeper message. There are people who thought a delayed matter had disappeared, only to discover that it had been moving slowly in the background all along. There are situations that remain silent for months, and then suddenly one day they return with clarity. What once looked distant becomes immediate. What once felt uncertain begins to make sense. And here is what makes this powerful: not every delay means rejection. Some delays are preparation. Some silence exists because details are still being arranged beyond your view. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. You may soon notice that something you stopped thinking about begins to return to your attention without warning. A document, a memory, a conversation, or even a name connected to an unfinished chapter. This is often how life announces movement before the full explanation arrives. And there is a reason you must remain calm. Important things often arrive when the mind is least prepared for them. The person who expected nothing suddenly receives a sign. The person who almost gave up suddenly sees a path opening. Do not skip, because what seems small today may become unforgettable very soon. Some people around you may continue acting as if nothing has changed. They may not understand why you feel watchful. They may not see why certain thoughts keep returning to you. But inner awareness often notices what others cannot. A message can arrive at a simple moment and still change how you understand recent events. One short contact can explain why certain answers never came earlier. One unexpected voice can make many silent days suddenly meaningful. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next detail matters deeply. There are times when official words carry personal weight. A formal tone can open an emotional chapter. A careful conversation can bring clarity to something that stayed unfinished far too long. And sometimes what first sounds ordinary becomes unforgettable because of what it leads to. If something has felt unfinished in your life recently, if you have sensed that one missing piece still has not arrived, remain attentive. Life often completes important patterns quietly before revealing why the timing mattered. Do not skip. The truth is, not everything important announces itself loudly. Some moments arrive gently but carry enormous significance. A simple attempt to reach you may be connected to something that waited longer than expected to find the right time. And perhaps the most surprising part is this: what is approaching may not only explain the past, it may also change how you look at the next chapter ahead. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. A person can spend many days wondering why certain doors remained closed, only to discover later that the timing protected something greater. When answers arrive too early, they are often incomplete. But when the right moment comes, even one sentence can suddenly make everything clear. So if your heart has been unusually alert, if your thoughts keep circling around unfinished matters, if you feel as though something important is near even though nothing obvious has appeared yet, trust that this awareness may have meaning. Because sometimes before a major explanation arrives, silence becomes unusually heavy. And that silence does not last forever. The next part becomes even deeper, because what may happen next could connect with something you never expected to return. And now the message becomes even more important, because what seemed distant may be much closer than you imagined. There are rare moments when life begins arranging answers before you even realize questions are being resolved. A person wakes up feeling ordinary, yet something in the atmosphere feels different. A small pause in the day feels unusual. A familiar routine suddenly carries unexpected weight. These moments are often overlooked, but sometimes they happen because something significant is already moving quietly toward you. A lawyer may be trying to reach you about something important, and what makes this powerful is that important contact often arrives when people least expect it. Not during dramatic moments, but during simple ones. A quiet hour. A normal day. A brief glance at a phone. A message that appears ordinary until you read it again and realize it carries unusual meaning. Do not skip, because what appears ordinary first can become the moment you remember for a very long time. There are situations in life that remain silent until the exact second they are ready to reveal themselves. What looked inactive may not have been inactive at all. What seemed delayed may have been carefully moving behind closed doors where you could not yet see it. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the reason your attention matters now is that timing changes everything. You may soon understand why certain thoughts returned to you recently without explanation. Why one unfinished matter kept entering your mind. Why certain names, places, or memories appeared again when you were not searching for them. Sometimes this happens because your inner awareness notices movement before visible proof arrives. And here is what many people miss: important developments rarely announce themselves loudly at first. They begin quietly, almost hidden, testing whether you are paying attention enough to recognize them. Do not skip. Some people discover later that the sign was there all along, a small clue they nearly ignored, a detail they almost dismissed, a message they nearly delayed reading. Yet that one small detail becomes the bridge to a much larger understanding. There may be something connected to your name, your past efforts, or a matter you thought had become distant. And if that connection returns now, it may do so with surprising clarity. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. You must understand this carefully. Not every important contact arrives because of difficulty. Sometimes it arrives because something has reached completion. Sometimes because something requires confirmation. Sometimes because what has waited quietly is finally ready to move forward. And that is why this moment carries unusual meaning. If recently you have felt that silence around you was becoming heavier instead of lighter, there may be a reason. Sometimes before an important explanation appears, there is a strange pause, as if the world itself is holding one breath before speaking. Do not skip, because the next part of this thought may explain what you have been sensing. A voice reaching out can carry more than words. A formal sentence can open a personal chapter. A simple request for attention can suddenly connect many unanswered moments from the past. And perhaps the most surprising truth is that some things return only when the right version of you is ready to receive them. What did not arrive before may now arrive because your season has changed. What did not make sense before may now become clear because timing has shifted. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and there is still more beneath the surface. There are people who ignored early signs and later wished they had noticed sooner. Not because they lost something, but because they realized the quiet beginning had already been meaningful. So remain aware of what looks simple. A missed attempt to connect may matter more than expected. A short message may carry more than it first appears to say. A familiar name may suddenly return with new significance. Do not skip. Because sometimes life uses very ordinary doors to deliver extraordinary moments. And if this moment has found you now, perhaps it is because your attention is needed more than ever. The next part becomes deeper still, because what follows may connect not only to today, but to something you thought had already passed. And here is where everything begins to feel even more extraordinary, because some moments arrive so quietly that people almost miss how important they truly are. There are times when an answer approaches long before the mind accepts that anything is changing. A person continues with an ordinary day, yet inside there is an unusual pull, as if something unfinished is preparing to step forward. That feeling is often not accidental. It appears when life is moving pieces into place beyond what your eyes can currently measure. A lawyer may be trying to reach you about something important, and what matters now is that you understand how powerful timing can be. Some messages do not arrive when expected because they are waiting for the exact moment when they can be understood clearly. Too early, and they feel confusing. At the right moment, they explain everything. Do not skip, because one detail can suddenly connect many silent days. Sometimes what looked completely closed was never closed. It was only paused. A quiet pause can last longer than people expect, and because of that, many begin believing nothing more will happen. Yet in the background, movement continues. Decisions continue. Arrangements continue. And then one day, without warning, something reaches your side of the story. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. You may soon notice that a thought you tried to forget becomes clear again. A name that had disappeared returns to your attention. A small memory suddenly feels important. This often happens before information arrives, because awareness begins opening before confirmation appears. And here is what makes this even more surprising: the very thing you stopped expecting may be the thing preparing to return with new meaning. Do not skip. Many people only understand later that silence was not emptiness. Silence was preparation. Silence was timing. Silence was a hidden space where details were being completed before the next step could happen. A short contact can suddenly explain why the waiting existed. A simple voice can suddenly make old confusion disappear. A formal sentence can unexpectedly carry emotional weight. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and what comes next may matter even more than what came before. There are moments when life chooses ordinary methods to deliver unforgettable shifts. Not with dramatic noise, but with calm precision. A normal hour becomes memorable. A simple notification changes the feeling of an entire week. A brief attempt to reach you suddenly feels larger than expected. And what many do not realize is that important developments often appear just after people begin believing nothing new will happen. That is why attention matters now. If you recently felt a strange urge to look again at something unfinished, if you wondered why one unresolved matter returned to your thoughts, if you sensed that something around your name was quietly moving, remain observant. Do not skip, because these details often become meaningful only after the next step appears. A lawyer may be trying to reach you about something important, but more than that, this moment may be asking you not to ignore what appears simple. Because simplicity often hides significance. The smallest signal can carry the largest meaning when timing is exact. And perhaps what is approaching is not only information, it may also be clarity, closure, or the beginning of understanding why certain things had to wait. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Some people later say they almost ignored the first sign. They almost delayed attention. They almost treated an important moment like an ordinary interruption. But when the full picture appeared, they understood why even the smallest signal deserved care. So now remain steady. Let your attention stay open. Notice what arrives gently. Because the next moment may explain why this message found you today, and why certain quiet signs around you have refused to disappear.